Hi everyone, my name's Carly. I'm the Community Activation and Learning Officer for Melton City Council based at the Kurunjang Community Hub. Today I'm going to show you how to make a potato and leek soup, something that's really quick and easy to make for lunch or dinner, especially in lockdown at the moment, and it's nice and warm for winter. So to make the soup you'll need about 4 largish potatoes, so these are probably medium to large, and there's about 700 grams there. 1 onion, a clove of garlic, 2 leeks, and a litre of your stock of choice. So I'm using chicken, but you can use a veggie stock and it can be a completely vegan meal. So we'll get started on getting all the ingredients prepped for the soup. Okay, so to start the soup today, the first thing you'll be doing is cutting up your 1 clove of garlic and your onion. So you just dice those up or chop them up. They will cook down, so it kind of doesn't matter how big you cut them up, and in the end you will be blending the recipe, the soup together anyway. So I'm just going to dice mine up and I'll put them into the pot that's on the stove back here, the soup pot. And I'm just heating up about a teaspoon of olive oil in there, so I'll dice up the onion and the garlic. And once the onion's heated up, I will throw the onion and garlic in there to get the soup base started. Okay, so I've just put the garlic and onion in the pot here. So that'll just saute down a little bit. Just keep it on like a low medium and let it cook down. So you just want the onions to get a bit softer, so they'll start getting translucent as they cook through. And while you're letting that cook down, just get the leeks and the potatoes prepped. So I'll just show you now how to clean the leeks properly. Okay, so with the leeks, just cut them lengthways and then go and rinse them under the sink. Now you do only want the white bits of the leek. The green bits aren't really useful in this recipe. So you'll just need to wash these out though, because as you can see, I don't know if it's focusing properly, but the leeks get quite a bit of dirt stuck under each layer. So you just want to rinse the leeks really well under the water and make sure you get all that dirt out. So we'll just wash these ones now. Okay, so we've rinsed our leeks out. As you can see, we've gone and taken out all that dirt. So just place them all. The easiest way to cut them is to put them down like this, and you can just chop them up like this and then add them to the onion and garlic mix. And you want to sweat these leeks down a little bit as well. So leeks are from the same family as the onion, so they cook in a similar way. So we'll just chop all these up and add them to that onion and garlic mix. Okay, so once you've cut all the leeks up, just add them to the onion and garlic mix and just stir them through a little bit. Now you want these to cook down a little bit for a couple of minutes just to soften. So while they're cooking down with the onion and garlic, just go and dice your potatoes up. So we'll cut the potatoes up now and then we'll get them added into here as well. Now at this point you can also add a little bit of salt and pepper for seasoning, but you might want to wait till the end because that way you can taste the soup at the end once you've added the stock and stuff and see if it needs any adjusting. Okay, so we've diced all those potatoes up, so I've just cubed them up. You can cut them up in smaller pieces or in bigger pieces. It's completely up to you. I cut them in this size, and that way they just seem to cook a little bit quicker. So I'm just going to add those now to the leeks and garlic and onion that's been cooking down for a few minutes, and then we can add the stock as well. Okay, so the onions, leek and garlic are just cooking in the pot here. Now they've cooked down quite a bit. The onions are getting translucent. I can see that the garlic's cooked down and the leek has mostly wilted. So we'll add the potatoes now into this and give them a stir, and then we'll add the stock liquid as well. Okay, so we've stirred those potatoes through the leek, onion and garlic mix. They've had a little bit of olive oil in the bottom there. Now you can use a different oil when you're sauteing off the veggies. That's completely up to you. You can use no oil. You can use no oil at all if you prefer. So now that that's just been stirred in and everything's mixed up quite well together, we're just going to add the litre of. I'm using chicken stock. You can use any other stock that you prefer. You can use a veggie stock and make it a completely veggie-vegan meal if you prefer. So we'll just add that litre of stock in there. Now, as you can see, especially because of the way we've cut the veggies, it pretty much covers those veggies completely. So just give that a little bit of a stir around. Now, place that on high and let that come to a boil. That should only take a couple of minutes to come to the boil. Once it comes to the boil, then bring it down to a slow little simmer and let it cook for about 15 or 20 minutes. You can check the potatoes are ready. Just put a knife or a fork into them, and if they're soft, it means it's ready. So we'll just let that cook down now for about 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll come back once it's boiled and turn it down. Okay, so as you can see, this is just coming up to the boil now. So I'm just going to turn that down to a medium-low heat. I'm just going to give it another stir before I do that. So turn it down to a medium-low heat and let it simmer for the next 15-20 minutes. And I'll come back and check it, and we'll test one of the potatoes to see if they're soft. Okay, so that's been cooking down for about 20 minutes now. I can see that the potatoes have started to break up, so I think they're definitely going to be soft enough. We'll just grab a little bit of potato, we'll just smush it down. You can see that they're definitely cooked and ready to go. So we can just turn the heat off there. So just let it stand for about 10 minutes after you've turned the heat off, and then we can use the hand blender to make that nice and creamy. Now you can leave it as a chunky soup as well, or you can just eat it as it is now, but I like to blend mine down and have it all blended through. Now the potatoes make it quite a creamy soup. You can add cream, butter, milk, anything else to it later. We generally just leave ours as is, and we can put a little bit of sour cream or a little drizzle of cream on top when we serve it. So I'm just going to let this sit here for the next 10 minutes and just cool down slightly so it's safe to blend up, and we'll come back and blend it up. Okay, so the soup's just been cooling down for about 10 minutes or so. So we're just going to use the stick blender here to blend that up. So just let it cool down a little bit before you do this, just in case it splatters out a little bit at you. So I'll just blend it up and you'll see how creamy it goes quite quickly. Okay, so we blended that up. Now I try and keep my soup a little bit on the thicker side, so you can add an extra cup of stock while you're cooking that down if you do want it to be a little bit thinner than this. I've had a quick taste and it does need a little bit of seasoning. So I'm just going to add some salt and just a small crack of pepper. We don't love pepper in this house, so I'm not going to overdo it. So just mix that in, and then your soup's pretty much ready to go. So when you serve it up, you can add some crusty bread, or you can make some croutons if you like. Sometimes I'll garnish mine with some fresh herbs. My hubby is the dairy king, so loves to add a little bit of cream or sour cream into his. Or you can just have it as is, straight out of the pot like this. Here's the finished bowl of potato and leek soup. I've just garnished it with a little bit of sour cream and some parsley in there. You can have it straight out of the pot as is, or you can garnish it with the sour cream, or milk even if you want to water it down a little bit. Thanks for watching today. The ingredients and the full recipe and instructions on how to make this will be in the description below the video on our Melton Learning Directory YouTube page. Have a look on there for a whole bunch of other activities that you can do at home with your whole family. Thanks for watching today, and I hope you enjoy the soup.